Hello, so today's another day where I'm not feeling that motivated. So, you know, the way I felt yesterday has kind of spilt into today. I did wake up at 7:30 when my alarm went off, but I went back to bed, didn't go back to sleep, and then ended up getting out of bed at 10 to 8. And yeah, it just took a while to get into my flow and crack on with my journal and my meditation. I did get those done, and I've just come back from my walk, and I've been listening to Justin Waller. And he actually talks about his two voices in his head. He calls the negative voice his bitch voice. And what I've been listening to is a Q&A today, and someone asked a question about, in fact, it's still playing. Yeah, someone asked him about something to do with, you know, your inner voice holding you back. And yeah, he just says you need to aggressively attack that bitch voice. As soon as that bitch voice comes into your head and tries to stop you doing whatever you need to do, you need to aggressively, straight away, attack it, like internally, and crack straight on with what you need to do. And it's a good way to look at it. You know, I've said before that, you know, if I allow it to, my mind will always trip me up and stop me doing what I need to do. You know, your mind isn't always your friend. It can, in fact, a lot of the times be your enemy. And that's why I ignore my mind on a regular basis. I don't give my mind authority over what I do. I don't see myself as my mind. My mind is just an inner voice that can either be a tool for me to use, or sometimes can, you know, be my enemy and hinder me. So literally, after, you know, hearing that little idea that I've heard before from Jay Waller, you know, and viewing my sort of lack of motivation as my bitch voice trying to hold me back, I'm feeling a whole lot better. But yeah, I need to crack straight on with my exercises. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to do sit-ups, push-ups, and some bent over rows. Because I'm well overdue my back and shoulder session in the gym, I'm kind of still sort of floating around back and shoulders until I do a proper session in the gym, and then I'll move on to arms and chest. Although I have been, you know, switching it up. Like I did a bit of arms yesterday, and obviously been doing, you know, sit-ups and push-ups, which isn't really back and shoulders, but yeah, push-ups, sit-ups, bent over rows, then cold shower. Hello, so a bit of time has passed, and me and my girlfriend have now ventured out to go and meet someone who watches the videos on my other channel, who has invited me round to make a video about the cars that he owns. Now, this kind of thing puts me well beyond my comfort zone. I am naturally an introvert. I am naturally a bit of a coward, you know, a bit of a recluse, a bit of a loner. So getting out and meeting people and, you know, filming other people's cars is really, really nerve-wracking for me. And the fact that over the last couple of days I've had, you know, not much motivation, I've been relying on discipline and just pushing through, you know, could potentially make that worse. But in these situations, I try and focus on what I can give to the world rather than what I can or can't take from it. So rather than me sitting here worrying about what the situation's going to do to me, you know, how nerve-wracking it's going to be, worrying about how potentially the video might not go as smoothly as I'm hoping, and, you know, how that's going to make me feel, I focus on what I can give to the situation, you know, what positivity I can bring to this guy that's inviting us around. You know, he watches the other videos, he wants me to film his cars. I should be grateful for that. You know, he might be feeling a bit nervous, you know, having someone that he watches on the TV come round to film his cars. He might be worried about what I think about his cars, you know. So I'm sitting here now, you know, thinking about what I'm going to say, but, you know, focusing more on making a good impression, making the guy feel comfortable, being positive about his cars. Because I believe that if you focus on what positivity you can bring to the world, focus on giving positivity, then by default
the world will give you positivity back in return. Whereas if you're the kind of person that's just worried about what the world's going to be doing to you, focusing on all the negative stuff, you know, allowing your RAS, your reticular activation system, to focus, you know, only on negative things or potential negative things that might happen, then I believe that if you live that way, then you're naturally just always going to be in a worse place. So, you know, whenever you're in a situation where you're out of your comfort zone, feeling a bit uncomfortable, try and focus on what you can give to the world rather than what you can or can't take from the world. Alright, so today's filming went really well. The guy was really sound, we seemed to click. I felt comfortable, I felt like I made him feel comfortable, and I mean, I'll find out for sure when I edit the video, but I think the video will come out half decent as well. So yeah, really enjoyable afternoon, chatting to another car enthusiast and checking out a whole fleet of cars. Now, because we were near my parents' place shooting this video, I decided to pass through and visit my mum and dad. And yeah, always cool to see my parents. We was there for a couple of hours. My mum did get an opportunity when my dad was sort of in the kitchen to, you know, explain how, you know, things are getting worse. As I mentioned in a video on this channel recently when I spoke to her on the phone, you know, things are getting worse. She actually said that at one point he sort of clenched his fist as if he was going to punch her. He didn't hit her, but yeah, it's just another sort of symptom of, you know, this dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever he's got. When I was speaking to his care team the other day, he has actually been referred to the memory clinic, and we're just waiting for them to get back to us about, you know, a date or whatever. So it hasn't technically been diagnosed yet, but already things seem to be rapidly progressing to the point where I've told my mum that when the care team come round to visit them, which is in about 4 or 5 days, she needs to, you know, find an opportunity to explain to them how bad things are. Because at the end of the day, you know, we live in England, we've got the NHS, it's free. But if you never say anything to anyone, then you're not going to get, you know, any of the services, you know, from the NHS. So I've said to her, you need to, you know, let them know exactly how bad things are. In fact, when I spoke to the team myself on the phone yesterday, I was, you know, basically explaining how bad things have got. Because my mum's half deaf, she never hears her phone, and they've got my number, so they end up ringing me. And yeah, it was an opportunity for me to sort of tell them how bad things have got, and, you know, it's an opportunity for me to explain to them that my mum finds it hard to talk about things in front of my dad because he always kicks off. So they've actually agreed, or the lady I spoke to agreed, to go round there with a colleague that apparently gets on with my dad, and they have a bit of banter, so that, you know, her colleague can keep my dad occupied whilst the lady I was speaking to, you know, speaks to my mum about how bad things have got. But, you know, if he's going to start getting violent, then, you know, realistically, I'm now starting to think about researching, you know, how to section someone, just so that, you know, it seems inevitably when it does get to that stage, you know, I can give my mum the information or the number or whatever to call straight away. I mean, you know, I don't want my mum to end up getting violently attacked by him. I don't want dad to get sectioned. Obviously, I don't, like, but yeah, I've got to look after my mum as well. So yeah, really cool time filming the video, but yeah, and a cool time visiting my parents. But, you know, nowadays when I do visit my parents, it's another reminder of how bad my dad's getting. But yeah, this evening I really don't feel like it, but I'm going to force myself to go to the gym because I haven't been going enough lately, and I might be going boxing tomorrow, which means I never really won't be going to the gym tomorrow. So yeah, need to force myself to get to the gym. Alright, well, gym was brutal, as it should always be. But yeah, haven't been going to the gym regularly enough lately.
Although, you know, I do work out at home every day, so it's not the end of the world, but I don't want to focus on that fact because, I don't want it to become an excuse. So I do need to start going to the gym almost every day, which was what I was doing before our recent Northern Ireland trip. Anyway, after having a very steep, very fast incline walk on the treadmill, I also had a little jog on the treadmill. Now, that's just to warm up, and then I cracked on with some exercises focusing on back and shoulders. As usual, I told myself that I'm going to do at least 3 exercises, but I actually ended up doing 5, I think, and I was going to do a 6th, but the rear delt fly was taken up by someone, and at that point my girlfriend was already waiting to pick me up. But yeah, really enjoyed getting in the gym, and I've already had a shower now and got my smoothie ready. So once I've drunk that, I'll be going to bed and trying to get up bright and early tomorrow for another busy day. Now, I get loads of messages from you guys that watch these videos telling me how I've inspired you, and people explaining what bits of my routine that they've incorporated into their life. So I want to send a massive shout to everyone who has decided to just make little changes to your lives to improve your mental and physical health. And believe me, these videos are helping me massively as well, so we're all in this together. I've actually had quite a few people today message me and comment below some of the videos that they've, made a point of every morning getting up and having loads of water and going for that half-hour walk around the block. And to be honest, if you're someone that doesn't do any exercise really, and you just wake up in the morning, grab a coffee straight away because you need it to function, and then sort of have your breakfast straight away, believe me, getting up and not having your coffee, not having your breakfast, and having water only, and then going for that half-hour walk around the block, just go for a walk for 15 minutes, then turn around and walk back home. I know people have busy lives and stuff, but that's only going to mean that you need to get up half an hour earlier, and that walk is so beneficial. Not only are you delaying your coffee, which is a good thing, you're going for fasted exercise, which is a good thing. You're getting sunlight in your eyes first thing in the day, which is a good thing. That's beneficial for so many things. But yeah, another thing, whilst you're going for your walk, put something motivational on. Put a YouTube video on that's motivational. Listen to it as you're walking around the block, so you're getting some positive influence in your ears before you have to deal with the stresses of daily life. So yeah, having your water in the morning, going for a walk first thing is so beneficial. There's so many other benefits other than the fact that you are doing a bit of exercise in the morning. So yeah, well done, fair play to everyone who has incorporated the walk into your daily routine. Loads of you have said that it's already really benefiting you, and look, feel free to drop me a message on Instagram in a couple of weeks and let me know how you're doing, because I'm positive that if you keep doing it every day, you will really reap the rewards of it. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'll be back tomorrow for another video on this channel. I want to send a massive thanks out to everyone who's got this far. Really appreciate you tuning in, and yeah, I'll speak to you tomorrow.